Alright, and we're off. Time to see what we have as far as magic goes and what's in the first three chests. We've got big bucks today in the magic key. And starting off with heals, so should be pretty smooth sailing in the early game. And both runners are gonna save their progress here, so good move from both of them. If there happens to be a town nearby, that's good enough for you know, a nice adventurer starting kit. Get yourself a hand axe and chainmail. Speaking of which, there's Brecconary. This may be the first time anyone's actually happy to see it. And there's that hand axe, and, ooh, NESCard kinda hits the jackpot there. Can also pick up the large shield. MisterHomes has to settle for the small shield, so the random amount of money coming into play here. Oh, we got Drakemas with Hurt. But MisterHomes finds Magidrakey, which is a much more generous target, and there's a level. Power +7 and heal more, so good, good early game spells so far. Alright, level 3 coming for MisterHomes, and we've got power of 24, so that's gonna throw the exploration wide open. You see MisterHomes just running for the next zone over the hills. That is quite a bump for the early game, and he's gonna show that Drakema's boss real quick. NESCard at level 3, also getting that strength bump, so 4 should be coming pretty soon, and 4 was, that's still a nice bump too, 5 more strength. So some, it's a pretty solid level, modest gains across all the stats. NESCard taking out this wolf, using some heal more strats, and oof, gets hit for exactly the amount of health he had left, so a little bit unlucky for him. MisterHomes picks up sleep at 5, so this is a really nice kit for early exploration. And another wolf for MisterHomes. He's just gonna get whatever easy experience he can get his hands on right now. And another spell at 6. Doesn't have any magic for it, so not gonna take a peek right now. It's a fair experience gap right now, but I mean, NESCard just closed it by 40 there. There are some good enemies in the area to pick up speed, and MisterHomes is going to pick up that large shield right now, so equalizing on the defense there. Gonna take a nap at the inn. Oh, NESCard gets a slime, not what you want to see when he can take down a wolf.
Yeah, as far as early experience goes, that is certainly a great ratio to have.
Alright, Mr. Holmes finds some metal scorpions in the southern mountain range there, or hills, and those are nice too. And I think he's just taking stock of what's in the area.
Here comes level 6 for NESCardinality.
Yeah, and that's Hurtmore at 6, so now you're really off to the races, and the only thing that's pretty annoying is just how much swamp there is in the area. And you're gonna have to go over eventually.
And that's usually the challenge that a lot of the runners tend to have, is how daring they are when it comes to large swamp areas. Do they use up a lot of their resources to try to get across that swamp, and what are they going to find? And well, Card finding a wizard, and that's going to be the second death for him here.
Yeah, that's pretty beefy for the area that he's in right now, so probably a good idea to steer clear of that. Holmes hits 7, so we'll see what he gets there.
2, 1, 3, and 4. Very modest statistics for level 7.
Alright, NESCard makes it across the swamp and gets lit up by a specter with Dragon Lord 2 breath.
Hole.
Oh, there's a werewolf, but he's got baby breath, and down he goes for 95 experience.
Yeah, that standard Dragon Breath doing usually around 20 hit points of damage, as opposed to that Dragon Lord 2 Breath that does anywhere between 64 and 72 hit points of damage. And with a max of in the upper 40s and lower 50s, it's essentially an insta-kill.
Yeah, and it looks like right over the swamp are enemies that are very, very nice to hit with Hurtmore, and there's a town in the way, so pretty solid move going across the swamp, and it looks like both players are going to do that now. Oh, never mind, it's Hawksness. But you do have Heal More and you do have Hurt More, so you might want to take a peek at what this is. Oh, Druin Lords was Sleep. And they are giving Mr. Holmes the business here. Ooh, it's a blue dragon, and this is not what you want to see. And both of them are going to be taking synchronized trips back to the throne room.
Not exactly planned that way, I'm sure. So back we are, Mr. Holmes at level 8 and Card at level 7. About a 250 experience differential between the two, which, given that the max experience for an enemy is 255, that can easily be made up.
And I think Mr. Holmes wants to take another shot at this. Has 63 HP. Not much in the defense department, though. Card is just going to keep going and finds a cave.
And I believe that is Swamp South, the southern end of Swamp Cave based on the movements.
There is one hurt more in the books, and Mr. Holmes is going to try to get another one.
And successfully does so. So let's see what's in the search spot here in Hawk's Nest. It is Erdrick's Token, one of the essential items needed to get that rainbow drop.
Always good to find a key item there. Not the armor you're hoping for, but still something useful.
And now to the other side of the Swamp Cave, and it is another part of the land.
Yeah, Mr. Holmes going south finds another town.
And this Druid Lord gonna just about get him up to level 9. And we have the town of Cantlin. Oh, and Card seeing that the guardian in the Swamp Cave is the Golem.
I like the blue dragon a little bit more. Maybe the Golem wouldn't be so bad if you just need a couple levels to get you, oh, I don't know, say from like 10 to 11, but for late game grinds, he's just too slow.
Chat noting, or Smashy noting in chat that the golem's with the spell Asleep, so that being a little bit of an issue. Yeah, the sleep with the small dragon breath.
That's true, it depends when you pick up Stop Spell.
Meanwhile, a couple of caves over here on Card's side, and Mr. Holmes looking to get offered some radishes, and one of the caves is the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave, which has an herb this time around.
Alright, time for an herb grind. Mr. Holmes is going to help himself to leather armor and probably check that other shop.
Yeah, the leather armor, not too shabby. It gives an additional 4 defense to the total, 4 defense points. And Card, the other cave is Garen's Grave. So there are 5 treasure chests in here, although without a magic key, only the top 3 are accessible.
Alright, Holmes finds another town in the south, so let's see what NESCard digs out of these chests.
We've got the Stones of Sunlight, we have some big bucks, and an herb.
So we've seen the token, we've seen the stones, getting pretty close to being able to get into Charlock, wherever it is.
And we have the town of Cole on Holmes' side as Card gets to level 8. So there's a search spot here, 4 steps south of the baths. But nothing in this particular seed. Interesting.
El Zilcho. So, definitely wants to see what the coordinates are now.
Yes, that does confirm, as the Erdrick's armor, the best armor in the game, can only be in one of 3 spots. Either the spot in Hawk's Nest guarded by the enemy, in the town of Cole, or in the overworld with the coordinates. And Eternal Newbie putting it bluntly, yes, the overworld search spot is going to have Erdrick's armor, and the fairy flute is going to be in a treasure chest.
Good assortment of enemies in this desert south of Cole. Hurt more to a couple of knights.
So the issue is our runners are going to be looking to find access to magic keys. So they're either looking for one in the treasure chest, or they're looking for the town of Rimeldar, where they'll be able to purchase them right off the bat. But Rimmeldar seems to be the one town that has eluded our runners here. I think we've seen all the others before that.
Yeah.
No, we haven't seen Garanham yet, I don't believe.
Another place where you need keys. So, the, either Rimmeldar or the Mountain Cave is what our runners are looking for now.
Or perhaps as a long shot, even the Tablet Cave.
That is true, we haven't seen that yet.
But as far as the playing of percentages, it's not ideal, but if it has something that's essentially needed, whether it's the Silver Harp, I mean, Erdrick's Sword could be down there. There are a litany of different possibilities.
Oh, NESCard gets away from the cops.
Ah, yes, the Red Dragon, known as the Fun Police, because when they show up, the fun tends to stop. So Card now in Cantlin, going to purchase a leather armor as well. Bump up that defense to 34. Holmes, meanwhile, exploring beyond the town and the swamp there.
Yeah, picks up Repel at 9, so pretty nice to see, but I think there's going to be a lot of action on the other continent.
It's amazing how close in proximity a lot of these towns are, but still not able to be seen as the dragon scale being purchased and donned by Card. So that adds an additional 2 defense points to his total, brings him up to 36. And Holmes going after a wizard here, usually a late game enemy, but with the high strength, even with the hand axe, able to take it out, and that will push over the 1500 experience mark and level 10 with 5 power, 5 speed, 9 hit points, 7 magic points, and another spell. Almost all of them in the books here already.
Yeah, and the strength gains keep going, so from 8 to 10, very nice levels.
So Card now town of coal and is going to find a whole pile of nothing here. And Smashy, I blinked and didn't see all of them. I think it's 9 out of the 10 spells that they've acquired by level 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think they don't have either Radiant or Outside. Would need to take another look.
Smashy in chat confirming that Radiant is the yet-to-be-learned spell, but it'll be learned sometime within the next 6 levels for MisterHomes and sometime in the next 8 for Card. Who's also now working on a wizard, and ooh, an unsuccessful attack there, and another heal more having to be used.
Being pretty elusive there. Kind of a pain.
And now Card gonna just nope on out of taking on the wizards, at least for now.
Holmes doing a pretty good job of saving his money, so if he runs into a half plate or a full plate, he can get a nice bump here.
Oh, going back to Brecconary here, and only the clothes are the armor of note here.
And Holmes is gonna try to put on his dragon scale, just summons a red dragon for NESCard instead.
And Card low on resources and looking to head on back, and that is exactly what is going on here.
Oh good, he's got Dragon Lord 2 Breath too.
Yeah. That is rather potent. One of the toughest enemies in the game with one of the strongest attacks in the game. Which only slightly easier than that is if they punch you for quite a bit or claw at you, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's like the NES cartography paying off a little bit.
Yeah, at this point, with that 36 defense, the red dragon can attack for anywhere between 25 and 51 hit points. So that's very welcome by comparison to the 64 to 72 that Dragon Lord Breath will do.
Alright, NESCard finds a Rogue Scorpion. These are always nice hurt more targets. And Holmes has another good one if he can wake up. Star Wyverns with sleep. That's another unpleasant surprise for Shylock.
Oh, and that is going to take him out. As far as I know, I believe that's only his second death so far this seed. As Card now getting to level 9.
Yeah, that HP bump, pretty nice for exploration. Goes through the swamp, doesn't really find anything, but sure, he'll beat up this wizard.
Yeah, now with a little bit more resources makes it a bit easier to do. And the Spell of Outside making it easier to traverse through the swamp cave, and Holmes now going to take a look and find a Guardian Golem.
And he's not going to mess around. And is this Mountain Cave? Mountain Cave with Axe Knights is pretty nice.
Although the minimal resources with Card now using his last hurt more, so not able to take too much advantage here. But yes, this is the Mountain Cave. 5 treasure chests in here, and Card approaching the first one, and it is a magic key.
That cracks open the seed for him. A lot of stuff that he can do now.
So now with those limited resources, going to try to meander around and using the last of his MP to put the Stone Man to sleep and run away.
And I don't think we've seen a Silver Shield yet, have we?
Now that I've taken note of it, wow, 18 more power at level 11. Already 85 strength.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a quick one.
And we have Fighter's Ring and Cursed Belt in the 2 upper chests in the bottom floor of the swamp cave, or not the swamp cave, the mountain cave. Looking at the swamp that Holmes is in there, Freudian slip.
Yeah, Fighter's Ring always a nice find. It's amazing how often that just the 2 damage boost really matters.
And Card gonna try to get to this last chest and runs into a red dragon on the spot, but runs away and gets Erdrick's sword. What an escape!
Yeah, he gets Erdrick's sword, and Mr. Holmes gets sent back by a wizard, so he's got to go back to the continent again. It's going to take him a little bit of time, but NESCard can probably fight his way out if he wants to. We'll see what he does.
Acquire 5 treasure chests that are in there. Could just take the death here and activate the gold glitch, having enough gold to purchase more keys in Tanager Castle.
Alright, we've got an Armored Knight on Mr. Holmes' side, and they seem to be pretty plentiful on those hills, so double hurt more should take them out. Still have, I believe, Remoldar and the locked weapon shop in Cantlin to check, so might be a gamble.
Couple of possibilities here.
And I think this is the grave for Holmes.
Oh, and here is level 10 for Card with almost no resources at this point.
Yeah, he's just trying to take the Death Warp, but he keeps bopping all of these high experience enemies. So. Attack power 109 at level 10.
Well, having Erdrick's Sword, the best weapon in the game, will do that, garnering 40 additional attack power to the strength, along with the Fighter's Ring. That's where the calculation for 109 is, and now just not even bothering to attack the wolf, it is just going to make sure that the Dragon Scale and Fighter's Ring are appropriately on.
MisterHomes gets jumped by a red dragon, so, hey, synced return trips again, but much different destinations once they go down these stairs.
So now I mentioned the gold or treasure chest glitch here. The chests respawn every time you go to the overworld map, but due to the programming limitations of the game, it tracks only up to 8 chests as open. So every treasure chest open beyond the 8th one can be taken over and over again. So having opened the 5 chests in the mountain cave, death warping back to Tangential Castle, where the 3 treasure chests inside the throne room are marked as open, so you don't take those over and over again. Now, any of the treasure chests that are in the treasury here that Card is going to open now, well, you'll be able to get over and over again, and we've got the Armor Warlock, which is a little bit of a glitch here.
That's a good one. Alright. There's the counterfeiting. We'll see what he does there.
So we have a torch in the middle.
It looks like that torch was actually a torch.
Now, I'm not sure what was in the bottom right.
I believe the bottom right was a dragon scale.
Okay, that did show up on the bottom there. Meanwhile, Holmes picking up the herb in the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave. And Card is just printing money. Yeah, well, the Armor Warlock, to answer the question in chat, that because the game doesn't know what to do because of the 9th treasure chest, it just takes 2 words out of the out of the inventory of weapons, enemies, and everything else, and kind of just splices them together. And then once you go into your item menu, it goes to the first item that it recognizes, which always is the bamboo pole. So it's obviously misreporting, but that's because the game doesn't know what to do.
Alright, and NESCard picking up, I think that's enough for magic armor and silver shield if he finds it.
That's correct. The 14,800 gold for the silver shield plus the 7,700 gold for the magic armor, the second best armor in the game and the best shield in the game, it adds up to 22,500. So just getting over top of that.
So this is definitely interesting. NESCard with the exploration advantage, MisterHomes with the level lead, and we'll see how things shake out. Right now, I would say this is pretty even.
Yeah, different exploration to find Cards, still having to get to Hawksness to get the Erdrick's token. Meanwhile, MisterHomes looking for the mountain cave to be able to get the magic key as well as Erdrick's sword. You see the different colored statistics. The green pretty much meaning that stat is good to go to take on the Dragon Lord. The orange, maybe you think about it if all the other stuff is in those green and orange colors. White, you're not anywhere close to it but making the climb. And the red, you see that in the very beginning if it's subpar for starting stats.
Yeah, and the red dragon takes out NESCard, and he's just going to reset to save all that money. Unfortunately, just seemed like that was either 50% or 75% fire breath, but pretty high instance of that.
Either way, well, even 1% is too much in this case here, as Mr. Holmes finding the fairy flute in the tablet cave.
Alright, and I guess not having outside, so just gotta... Nope, not enough MP for outside, so just gotta go the long way. And still no Garanham sighting either.
Now, Garanham and I keep wanting to say either Rimuldar or Rimuldar. It depends on which syllable you want to put the emphasis on. Either way, the town that sells keys in the open. That's what we're looking for here. As that is missing.
Another red dragon for card, and really his only options are to try to run twice and then reset. So he's just having some pretty bad luck trying to cart this money back to Cantlet.
To answer Smashy's question, yeah, the Silver Harp, there's a few possibilities. It could be in either of the 2 chests in the bottom of Garen's grave, it could be in any of the 3 chests that are in the town of Garanham, or it could be in the treasure chest in Rimuldar. Or Rimuldar, whichever your pronouncing preference.
He runs into a red dragon again. We might have to do some manipping here to avoid this guy.
Unbelievable. And LT noting in chat that the wallet might be too heavy to run. Gold isn't exactly light.
Somebody painted "I'm carrying cash" on the back of his armor.
Yeah, but what's a red dragon gonna spend all that money on?
Another one! Holy cow, but NESCard gets away this time.
Okay, Busmaster 549, giving a little education. So the Japanese pronunciation of the town is Rimudararu.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And the knight taking out Mr. Holmes. So it's a 2-to-1 death ratio here, and card now in the shopping mall of Alifgard, known as Cantlin, and apparently this time it stands for "Can't Find a Silver Shield Anywhere, Lynn."
Yeah, just one more shot to go, and that's Garanham. Or actually Rimuldar too, but it's probably not going to be able to hang on to that money long enough.
Well, he is going to settle here for a full plate armor, which has the same defense as the magic armor, 24. The magic armor has the added advantage of cutting the hurt spell, or the damage by hurt spell by 1/3, hurt and hurt more, and as well as healing 1 step for every, or point for every 4 steps, and we've got coordinates of 69 north and 23 west.
Alright, Mr. Holmes has found the mountain cave now, so the key advantage is about to vanish here.
And card going to take the death warp back.
And yeah, those are some tough coordinates, so we'll see what he decides to do here. But then again, I think all the coordinates are tough, and I'm frequently proven wrong, so...
And Mr. Holmes is in the mountain cave and has found the magic key.
And NESCard finds the red dragon again. So this, just waiting for him as he crosses that area. That's rough.
Now he reset here. Did he save before? Oh goodness! Oh,
No, he didn't, but he's got all of the money, and he didn't really lose anything in the way of experience.
And he has the coordinates, so he keeps the gold and is able to go in a different direction.
And I wonder if he feels like he has to commit to finding the Silver Shield and the magic armor, otherwise he's just too far behind.
That is certainly possible, as Holmes now pending. Oh, well, we've got the red dragon, and it is being mean to Holmes, and it is going to take him out before he can get to Erdrick's sword.
Yeah, that's rough, but that's kind of one of the few leads that Mr. Holmes has. He has the key now, so he's probably going to take care of that. I would imagine he's going to go back for that item before too long. The question is, does he dig out some of the other locations first before going back? That would end up helping NESCard out.
Oh, and Beta Strep noting, remember the insane run on the chest with the sword with under 60 agility that Card did to be able, otherwise he would have been in the same situation that Holmes currently is in. So there's a pair of torches. There's the printing of money.
And just, let's see if he goes back, but just going for 2k right now. Maybe enough for a full plate? That's definitely looking for magic armor.
Yeah, and the question in chat, does Hurtmore not work on dragons? Every enemy has a different resistance to the spells of Sleep, Hurt or Hurtmore, and Stop Spell. In this game, depending on the enemies, the Stop Spell resistance is so that way you don't have a roughly impossible enemy. But generally with the red dragons, they have a 15 out of 16 resistance. Blue dragons have a 7 out of 16 resistance, so it's about a coin flip. And the green dragons, it's considerably lower than that.
So this is kind of the make or break point for NESCard right now. He's looking for Garenham, or finds, I believe this is Tablet Cave. But he is completely out of MP at this point, and if he doesn't find a town, he's going to lose all that money. And I don't know, he's gained about 600 experience, and I would feel real bad resetting that off.
So Card in the Tablet Cave and finding the fairy flute as well.
Yep, gets the musical instrument, but not the one he's looking for.
Yep, was hoping for strings, but got a woodwind instead.
Oh, gets put to sleep by the Star Wyvern, so this might be it for the money.
And it is he going to reset? He is not. Meanwhile, another level for Holmes. Up to 13 now. And is going to purchase the Flame Sword, having not found Erdrick's sword, falling just short in the Mountain Cave.
And he's going to be disappointed by the contents of this shop, too.
And Lorgon noting in chat that the Flame Sword might be enough for this seed, given the high strength gains. I mean, you see at level 13, 98 strength. So with the Fighter's Ring for 2 attack power and the Flame Sword for 28, already 128 attack power, which usually is the bare minimum where you want to consider going after the Dragon Lord.
Oh, nice time for an excellent move. Takes out the golem without him even waking up.
And that's going to get level 11. With a plethora of power.
Yeah, 127 already.
So now Card just going to have to exit the cave with Outside able to do so. And is going to return to the castle to save the princess and acquire Gwaelin's Love, which is jokingly known in the community as the GPS, the Gwaelin Positioning System. How it works is it's an item that's in your inventory that, and when you use it, she will tell you not only how much experience to get to the next level, but she will also tell you how far away she is from you, because with her constant utterances of "but thou must," it's all about her.
Yeah, and I wonder if NESCard is just trying to avoid the walk to Hawksness because of how many red dragons he's seen. I mean, easily from his perspective, it seems like it's 60% or more.
Yeah, I guess he's figuring, rather than deal with these super tough enemies, especially with the red dragons that have been borderline insta-death, to just try to meander through the land and get to where the spot is and hope that that search spot is the armor, which in this case we know will be the correct play, but that and in Hawksness is required in this case because it does have Erdrick's token.
And hey, there's a town. And this is kind of interesting because this town seems to be, you know, sort of centrally located, and it's Remaldar.
Alright, so there's one treasure chest in here that may have... well, it may have the silver harp, or it could have the death necklace, which, well, given the low hit points, may or may not necessarily come into play. The death necklace, in the vanilla version of the game, it just curses you and keeps you from entering the castle and is otherwise just a nuisance, but it was programmed in Dragon Warrior Randomizer to have a little bit of a risk-reward in that you'll get an additional 10 attack power when you put on the Death Necklace, but it'll come at the cost of 25% of your maximum hit points. And Card is going to purchase a half-plate armor here in Remaldar, so that'll be a nice upgrade from the leather armor, an additional 12 defense points. So unless the silver shield is in Garenham, then the efforts were for naught. Zarnax, we have not seen Garenham as of yet, so that's the only shop that has yet to be discovered. As MisterHomes has acquired the princess and shall take Gwaelin back to Tanagil Castle.
Oh, there's Sharlock, so lots of good information on NESCard's side. But it seems like MisterHomes will find this just following the likely path to the coordinates, so not really a big advantage for NESCard.
And Card had taken a check on had taken a check on Gwaelin's love, but opted to do a little bit more exploring, and looks to be the case here as well. I think when he did use it, it was 60-something and 40-something, but I don't know if that was west or east on the 40-something. And here is the Star Wyvern with Sleep. And Card gonna two-shot it, and that's gonna get level 12. Five, 9, 1, 7 for the numbers.
Yeah, up to 132 on the attack power, so he's, you know, the levels are getting very close to finishing here. HP at 97 on MisterHomes' side, so at 13.
I think the MP, though, is a bit low based on the other statistics, so I don't think 13 is a level to necessarily go.
Yeah, probably not want to fight your way down either, but this might be over sooner rather than later. All depends on how the levels shake out, but we're getting close.
Yeah, I would imagine that at least a little bit of erring on the side of caution would occur, as Card has found Ham should provide most here, and Card gonna no silver shield, but there is the magic armor, so that's gonna be a nice upgrade.
Yeah, finally gets the magic armor, and I would not be surprised to find, well, I think the harp has to be here, right?
Unless it's deep in the grave.
That's true, we got two there.
Fairy water, we got wings.
Yeah.
And it's...
We have a vanilla heart, maybe?
Quite possibly.
Card doesn't even check the back room. Not useful at all.
Well, I think the back room is going to be the Silver Harp Cave.
Yeah.
Or the Staff of Rain Cave, yes. So since he still needs the Silver Harp...
Yeah, now he knows where everything is to finish out. It's just a matter of getting there.
Now, I forget, has Card been to Hawksness yet?
I think he... He knows where Hawksness is, but I don't think he's gotten the token yet.
Strip confirming that he went on early on and fell to the Blue Dragon.
Yeah, so he's 48 west, so he's got quite a lot of lateral movement to go here. Oof. Put to sleep by the golem. NESCard's got to go back to the castle again.
And this is, I think there may be a little bit more caution heading into Charlotte Castle, because, I mean, we've seen now with some of the tougher enemies, you've got the Golem with Sleep and 120 strength, so they'll just be punching you out. The Star Wyverns with Sleep, as well as the Red Dragons with that Dragon Lord 2 Breath. So those are 3 of the 10 enemies that are in Charlotte Castle that could easily take you out just first battle in.
Yeah, and it feels bad burning stop spells on them with how much, you know, or how little MP that you have.
So Holmes now going to pick up the Death Necklace.
South, 27 west, so trending in the right direction here.
So based on that, just 11... Oh, yeah, that's... yes, had to go a little bit further. That whole cardinal direction thing, because where she tells you where she is in relation to you, you have to flip what she says to be able to match up. So when she says that she is 69 south and 23 east of you.
Yeah, and NESCard first to the armor. That's going to feel good walking through that swamp for the first time with no worries. Nice hit on the blue dragon too. So this is where NESCard can make up some ground here, leveling.
Lorgon, we're certain that the Staff of Rain Cave is in the back of Garenham by process of elimination. The harp, by process of elimination, is going to be one of the 2 treasure chests deep in Garen's grave. And Holmes just a knight on a chessboard's movement away from the armor. Okay, now so
oof. Red dragon time. The Manips.
Golem with sleep. Oh no.
Everything was sleep, and this guy has given MisterHomes the business, that's for sure. But lands the stop spell, so now it can just take him out. It's a long time for a 255, though. And it looks like in the bottom of the grave, pretty good monster distribution for levels, so...
Speaking of which, here is level 13 for card.
Yeah, 140 attack power. And there's the silver harp.
And card not even going to bother checking that deep chest. To answer your question, DW Edit, it was about 3 minutes ago that card picked up Erdrick's armor. It was at about 50-42.
MisterHomes has enough gold to buy a silver shield, if only there were one.
And Tabisco, to answer your question, the red dragons do tend to be problematic as they are among the strongest, and actually they're golem for having the most strength at 120, and they're also one of the fastest enemies in terms of the highest agility, so running from them is very, very difficult.
So yeah, NESCard doing some quick math. Here's another red dragon. Doesn't want to deal with this, especially given how much he's been spamming DL2 breath.
But of note, even at level 14, the MP still at 66.
Yeah, definitely. I am definitely interested to see how nasty the monster distribution is in Sharlock.
Yeah, only 8 Healmores at the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better at 14 either.
Now, with that 140 attack power, on average, you're looking at about 11 attacks to take out the Dragon Lord, as here comes the Staff of Rain for card.
And now, time to finally get that token. He's waited almost 45 minutes to get revenge on that blue dragon. Holmes is doing a really good job of leveling while exploring, though. Up to 7,200 experience right now.
Yeah, not too far away from level 15, which is target number for that is 7,500. And Holmes now going to find Garanham. And is really hoping for a silver shield, but finds nothing but disappointment. In Future Sight, Erdrick's sword was in the bottom chest of the mountain cave. Or the deepest chest of the mountain cave.
Yeah, Red Dragon's running around on the bottom of Mountain Cave. NESCard escaped. Mr. Holmes did not.
And spot-on observation from Jay Coper in chat. Yes, the most time-consuming treasure chest possible. And Holmes checking the inventory and realizing, oh, I don't have the silver harp. Card, meanwhile, with Erdrick's token.
And Card does not have any torches either, so might be a blind run through Sharlock.
Quite possibly. So with the exception of trading in for the rainbow drop, as Zarnax putting it in chat, Card is in grind and go mode. Meanwhile, Holmes back in the mountain cave and is looking to acquire Erdrick's sword deep in the mountain cave. As he is fighting along and working on getting perhaps another level, Card is just going to the blue dragon.
Yeah, and already starting to close the gap, but Mr. Holmes is finding some good enemies to fight. Axe Knight, not too bad. And
Level 14 is 5,625 to answer the question from Uterbin in chat.
And bumps up to 69 MP.
Still just the 8 Healmores, and there is Erdrick's sword for Holmes. So yeah, now at level 15, 149 attack power for Mr. Holmes.
Alright, and there's 14 for NESCard, and, well, he's got to decide whether to go or not. And it looks like that's good enough. $145 is quite a lot of attack power, but it remains to be seen how much of that MP you're going to be able to bring to the bottom of Sherlock.
With 145 and an attack range set for Dragon Lord, looking at about 10 attacks to take more possible. Is it a free?
NESCard has everything that he needs to go into Sherlock. And I believe, yeah, there's a town along the way, so it's got this planned out pretty well. We'll go in with max MP. Gotta go after this golem, though, and nope, never mind.
So Holmes back in the grave. And is going to pick up the silver harp.
There he goes. Now he just needs to take care of all the housekeeping. Level 15 looks pretty solid, but he's got a lot of stuff to take care of first.
And then the question is the traversing through Sherlock Castle to get to the Dragon Lord. With such low MP, you have to wonder, is 15 even going to be the level?
Getting a little turned around, but fine Sherlock. And be interesting to see if he decides to fight on his way down. Probably depends on the enemy distribution, but if he runs into a ton of wizards and axe knights, this doesn't help.
And there is the Staff of Rain.
Well, there goes one heal more. But he is, yeah, he's pretty early in his dive, so looks like he's just calling it. I'm gonna go stop at a town, take his 255 experience, probably go to 15. Oof, ambushed by this jerk.
And a golem as well, why not?
And Mr. Holmes gets his rainbow drop. And he is probably ready to go, so...
Yeah, as far as the grind options, to answer the question in chat, Hawksness Guardian was a blue dragon, and the swamp boss was a golem. Now, the blue dragons didn't look to have any chicanery about them, but the golems, well, they have sleep, and they have been using it fairly often.
Holmes is gonna throw down the repel and stay at the end. And NESCard is gonna do the same in Gillingham.
Now, Now, again, with this being the best 2 out of 3, if NESCardinality wins this race here, he will advance to the championship round. If MisterHomes wins this race, it'll even it up at 1 apiece, and we will have Game 3 immediately following. We'll have about a 5 to 10 minute break to set things up. But either way, one of the 2 finalists will be determined here tonight on Randomania.
Well, there's a green dragon. A lot nicer for NESCard to see. But MisterHomes is in the situation where he's just going to run from everything, so this is going to be close. Oh, there's a red dragon for NESCard, and he needs to get away from this, and does. MisterHomes is about to search throne room. Wow. Can we get much closer again? NESCard just gonna bonk his way through. Did not have a torch in his inventory. The red dragon's everywhere, but NESCard manages to get away. Down to the next floor, and probably a relief for him. Stoneman is not going to do it. Ambushed by a Star Wyvern, so he's going to sit here for a while, but MisterHomes gets a red dragon. Ooh, takes 2 fire breaths, and there goes a heal more. NESCard just popping an herb and going, and he's going to take a blue dragon hit to the face. He's got to decide. Wow, makes it, runs away. Gets a red dragon though.
No.
Wow. And just... the agility is just not going to do it, and I wonder if NESCard is just going to go off and grind another level.
You figure he's only 974 experience away from level 15. And we know that the difference is only 4 strength, 2 agility, 9 hit points, and 3 magic points. Holmes, meanwhile, is, it looks like at this point, just fighting down and looking. This is going to be an exploration or informational dive.
Couple of Axe Knights for NESCard, so draws closer to that level 15 breakpoint. Yeah, MisterHomes is just the fire breath spam is real for him.
And the attack, well, that's not too that's not too light either.
Yeah, and I'm sure both runners are cursing the fact that they couldn't find the silver shield this seed.
And Card is going back into Sharlock.
Yeah, Holmes just jumping outside, gonna go to Garinham and save his experience progress.
Now, with the defense that they have, I mean, not only do they have to worry about that Dragon Breath, or Dragon Lord Breath, which isn't as bad now that they have Erdrick's armor, as it's negated by 1/3, so only 42 to 48 hit points damage there. So ideally, they'd almost rather an attack, as at their levels, the Red Dragon will hit for anywhere between 19 to 39.
Ambushed again by a Golem on NESCard's side, and he's so close to going back to the penalty box.
Well, Social Irregular, I've been trying to keep track as best I can here, and I believe that there are a combined 20 deaths between the two runners. So they've had quite a bit of deaths, but it's also, I mean, the majority of them have been over on Card's side. Granted, a lot of those were resets while trying to hang on to that gold.
Holmes going after this red dragon again. Still keeps all of his MP. Uses an herb. Yeah, NESCard's gonna play it safe. You have to burn a lot of time to be able to run away safely, but it's probably worth it in his shoes.
So here we are, both runners almost in sync here in Sherlock Castle. So the encounter rate is going to be a huge issue. The ability to run away from these tough enemies certainly going to be a factor. And yes, if this is anything like their first race on Monday, I mean, that was decided by 19 seconds. And BT's asking, did we discuss how hard the Dragon Lord 2 can punch? At this point, no. However, looking at it here, they'll be able to hit for anywhere between 24 and 49 hit points.
Holmes beating up another red dragon here, and he's close to level 16.
In fact, taking out this dragon will get level 16. So 3 power, 8 speed, 14 hit points, and 5 magic points.
Yeah, that looks pretty solid. Just have to make it down there now. And speaking of making it down there, NESCard is getting bottled up by this red dragon.
Oh, and a nice critical hit, knocking that green dragon into 117 pieces.
Yeah, and very likely he's going to come to the end of this and get his next level fighting the Guardian boss. Although Axe Knight's certainly going to help.
Although it's not going to help with dodging.
Yeah, NESCard is pretty low on herbs, so he may... I'd be curious to see if he tries to do an HP walk-up before fighting the Guardian boss.
So here we are, both runners on the last basement of Sherlock. Card about a quarter of a room lead, but getting a nice hero's run here, and goes all the way up to the mini boss, which is a stone man.
Wow, what a run! Not so good on the dodge, but that's going to be the next level for him. And, yeah, he's got just enough to put this guy to sleep.
So there is the level up to 15 for Card, as Holmes now going to use his last herb before going after the Stone Man.
Alright, and meanwhile, Card is in, and he's just going to have to go for it, but... It's the Axe Knight right in front. No, thank you. Old B.
So 12 to 24 range, 10 attacks on average will take out the second form of the Dragon Lord, and only 7 heal mores. So hoping for some double attacks. Here we go for Card.
Yeah, Card is hoping for a weak swing here, and we'll see what he gets.
We've got 15 and 13 to start. There's another 14 up to 42. $17 over on Holmes' side. Another 16.58, so we're now at 38 now for Holmes.
Yeah, NESCard not going to swing on 44.
So Holmes able to attack for just a bit more along the way here. But now some low rolls for Holmes.
Yeah, there's an 18 for NESCard.
Oh, and a 20, but a 25 for Holmes.
Oh, and that's a double, so another attack in right on his last heal more.
Wow, and Card takes it out.
Yeah, one more swing to go. That initial double proving to be huge, getting the 36 swing in the face right at the start of the fight.
And Holmes takes it out as well, so we are, just like last time here, it is going to be extremely close, but NESCardinality is going to just pull it out and advance to the finals. GG's all around, as Card is going to finish with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 4 seconds, and Mr. Holmes finishing just 9 seconds behind at 1:17.13.
Yeah, and can you expect anything less from two amazing players like this? Just two of, I would say, the best matches I have seen in DWR history.
Oh my goodness. 19 seconds to decide the first race and 9 seconds to decide the second race here. Oh wow.
Mr. Holmes saying in IRC earlier, this race must be decided by 17 seconds or less. And, well, they made good on it.
And chat noting here, I guess we'll, yeah, I mean, a lot of them confirming here that this is apparently the second closest race in Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament history.
We'll get both of them in for an interview shortly.
Okay, Game Boy F9, one of the administrators providing these statistics. So the closest race was an 8-second differential in last year's tournament between Unos and Silverfire. This just 1 second longer than that.
Question in chat, is this a retime? The retime rule applies at 5 seconds or less, so 9 seconds, no need for a retime.
Hello, it's NESCardinality here.
NESCardinality, congratulations and GG, and just when we thought things could get any closer last time, you and Mr. Holmes prove us all wrong once again. Congratulations on making it to the finals. NESCardinality, congratulations and GG, and
wow, I had
just when we
a
thought
lot
things
of low
could get any
rolls
closer
against the
last
Dragon Lord
time,
with a
you
great
and Mr.
average,
Holmes
so I was still worried, but I started getting all the high rolls toward the end, so it was evening out at that point, and it worked out. If I had to, I could have taken an extra attack, but you saw me pause when I had 51 HP. I was just reminding myself, even at the previous level, the Dragon Lord could definitely not do more than 49, and I just didn't want to make a silly mistake when it would have been free, you know, after a heal more anyway. So a slight hesitation there, but thoughts are jumbled right now. There's so much to talk about. I can't believe this race was half the distance apart that the other one was. It must have been quite a show for the audience.
Oh, absolutely. It was another back and forth, just finding things at different times. I mean, you'd gotten Erdrick's sword and Erdrick's armor earlier. MisterHomes had found pretty early on the token, for example, was one of the big early finds. So it was another one of those where you both kind of put the puzzle pieces together for all of us here.
It was in my head that, it was the last chest of the mountain cave, and I encounter a red dragon on top of it. And I'm thinking to myself, we've seen these races where people die at this point, they don't get the last mountain cave chest, and it's the sword. And I miraculously ran from the red dragon, and it was the sword. And I just kept thinking to myself, well, that's one possibility that if MisterHomes dies before then, he might dive without it. But that's no reason to take it easy, of course.
Which I
Either
did.
way, even if he didn't get the sword, he could do what I did, grind a level down, and it could have been like 20 power or something. So you never know. And I certainly wasn't going to let up. Just thinking of what was going through my head at the time. But yeah, I'm just amazed that this one was closer than the last one. It's unreal.
Well, the situation you described as MisterHomes joining us here in chat as well is what had occurred as maybe about 10 to 12 steps away from that last chest that contained Erdrick's sword. There was a red dragon encounter that sent Holmes back.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that I stumbled into the sword was because I hadn't found the silver harp yet. And so I went to go check that last chest and I was like, oh, it's a sword. Okay, that's cool.
I didn't even think of that. The harp was the last thing I didn't find, and so of course I had to go back to the grave. And I had a moment where, I cast outside before going to the bottom chest. I had not gotten the token yet, and it flashed into my mind, what if it's down there and not in Hawksness? That would be disastrous, but that worked out.
All I can say is the radishes did me in.
The what?
The radishes.
Oh, the radishes! Were you, locked out of that shop or something?
No, I just talked to the radish guy for like 2 seconds.
Oh, I see. I had a few silly moments where menuing was weird and I walked back and forth and stuff. I'm sure everyone kind of was wondering what the heck happened when I got the coordinates and then death warped instead of casting return. But I rolled with it, and until something killed me, and then I realized at that point that I could reset. So that whole section probably cost me like 4 minutes or something. I kept thinking I should have gone to Hawksness earlier, but it worked out that the armor was on the map. A few things here and there, and of course I died, twice in Sharlock, or I was prevented from diving at least twice in Sharlock. It was a tough dive, but eventually I finished the level on the way down using only one heal more. It was pretty lucky because red dragons were everywhere, top and bottom at least. That's my story, but I don't want to ramble on too much about that.
For sure. I think, honestly, I was lucky-ish getting down there on my second try. I went at level 14 and was fully prepared to win, and then just got absolutely annihilated. And so I had to just go again.
I knew it would be something like that. I went in at 14 as well, like right at the beginning. And, I got fire breathed by a red dragon on the first floor. And so I instantly decided I was going to grind. I imagine you did something similar.
Yeah, I think it was on the second zone, I think, 'cause my first zone was pretty good. But I got 2 or 3 in a row on the second zone, and it was just not going to work out. So I decided just to fight it and then take the experience.
I'm just catching my breath here. I'm flabbergasted. I don't even know where to go from here. I mean, as you said, there were so many different things. I mean, Garanham just seemingly in the witness protection program, apparently.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was the last thing I found, yeah.
So I'm curious, did we start the Dragon Lord fight at pretty much the same time? Because I felt like mine was slow.
I went into it with 2 herbs. I was desperately trying to keep all my magic, and I thought, the last level could be huge, and even if it's not, like we got 4 power, and that was enough with 1 less heal more anyway. So I only went in with 2 herbs. I used them both and then attacked. So my DL1 was, I assume it was shorter, because I know we
Yeah.
had low MP, and I would have wanted to have been with full HP.
I think the Dragon Lord 2 fight, NESCard had swung twice before you entered.
But DL1?
DL2.
But no, but what about when we just talked to the Dragon Lord?
So you were just coming out of, or you were in the middle of the Stone Man fight. And,
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, his Stone Man fight, I think, went a lot faster.
Yeah, it took me 4 turns to beat the Stone Man. Couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I didn't hit over 40 once.
I had a little bit of low HP and herbs, and I forgot that I had 2 MP for sleep until the second round, so I took a little extra damage there, and then I just wiped him out. But yeah, I was still worried about the end when I saw, because I got the level up from him. I saw the 4 power, and I said, well, that's enough, but we're still not safe yet with 7 heal mores. I got low rolls at the start and then high rolls at the end. It all evened out, and I had 1 extra attack at the end.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And I'll tell you guys, when I beat the Dragon Lord, I cast Return, I walked into the castle, I talked, I waited for Gwaelin. This entire time I was not the least bit excited. And then I hit done, and I said to myself, count to 5. And I counted to 5, and then I sort of let the tension go. And before I could blink, of course, Mr. Holmes had finished. This race is a perfect example of how strongly matched we are, and how anything could have happened in this round. So before anyone looks at the result, like sure, one person had 2 wins, but if you look at the combined seconds between them, it's just insane. Either of us could have won, and of course, Mr. Holmes triumphed the past 2 years, and he's still got every bit of the skill he had and more, of course.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm glad it was a great race for everybody. I'm thrilled, in fact, but I'm still pretty gutted right now. It's just the realization's kind of sinking in. It kind of sucks. Don't know what I'm gonna do for the next couple days, but hopefully my vacation will rejuvenate me a little bit.
I certainly remember from the last 2 years. I don't remember if you eliminated me the first year, but last year, like the race you eliminated me in, it wasn't even close. You were miles ahead. I felt like I had a really bad one. So yeah, I mean, I tried to prepare as much as I could, and it just goes to show you how anything can happen. I've been saying this from the start. Like, I'm so sorry that, first of all, we had to meet in the semifinals, because I really felt like you and I would be a great final match, and obviously there's some truth to that based on the times. And secondly, well, I forgot what the second thing was because my brain is racing. But yeah, it's a shame that one of us has to be eliminated at this point. And I've really enjoyed all the races with you up to this point this year. And I really hope you enjoy your time off as well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to. I'm not super happy with how my 2 races went. Like, I didn't make any ridiculous mistakes, but I'm definitely gonna go back to the lab and really hammer down on my inefficiencies for the future to get just that much better.
That's a good thing. I feel like doing the same thing after any loss, and these races were so close, and of course I had inaccuracies that I felt shouldn't have happened, and I feel like practice is the right way to refresh those things out of my mind. I still feel like I'm learning new things every race, but at the same time I felt like totally prepared going in, and then I did some things that I really shouldn't have done. And I imagine both of us feel like that after a race like this. And who knows what is to be gained from further analysis.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Chad is noting that next week there will be the 3rd place race, so there is that here to kind of complete the potential trifecta for Mr. Holmes, getting the proverbial gold, silver, and bronze in the 3 years of this tournament.
Right. So in 2040, I'm going to be last place, is what I'm hearing.
I doubt it.
I don't know about that. By 2040, I'll be in one of these tournaments, so you'll definitely you'll have somebody to hit that floor. In me, in this case.
No, it's good. I totally forgot about that third place race, so that's gonna be fun. Do you know where the finals are gonna be hosted channel wise? Is it still gonna be here?
As far as I know, I'm sure. I mean, Game Boy F9 is in chat here. I'm sure he'll be able to confirm that yes, the finals will be on Randomania.
All right, sounds good.
Edge, anything? Yeah, thank you both for another fantastic race. I almost feel like a broken record after Monday here. Edge, anything else to add here?
I think you covered just about everything. Great race. GG to both of you.
Thanks a lot. And obviously, GG NESCardinality. I mean, apparently you've turned into Sparkover, but that's okay. For those of you who can't see what I'm looking at in the Discord chat, he's logged in as Sparkover. So anyone want to do a race after this? I definitely want to get back at it now.
You want to do another?
The moment of solace is past.
That's awesome. No,
Yes!
I'm really happy that it passed so quickly. Because really, like, you know, it was so close, and you deserve to not feel bad over it. So I'm really glad. If you want to play again, I'm in.
Yeah, speaking to the general audience as well as commentators and restreamers and trackers. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Oh, there we go. The excitement builds.
Quickly, for those of you who weren't watching yesterday, I had we were playing a big race, and my computer crashed. And MisterHomes and I were off to a pretty fast start in that seed. MisterHomes ended up winning by a wide margin, but I have a feeling that one would have been like insanely close at the end too. Who knows if this is like starting a trend between the two of us? We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I look forward to every race in the future, including tonight.
Yeah, it's okay. This is a joke that maybe only Ness, myself, and a few other people will get, but our race times are progressing like some sort of geometric series.
I like it. A lot of ties in our future, perhaps.
All right. So
Most certainly. So yeah, it looks like the crowd's looking forward. We won't be able to broadcast that special game 3, but in this case, it's more of an audience participation battle royale. So you all can see how you fare against two of these fantastic runners here, and kind of use them as the as the measuring stick, because they they certainly have been for quite a while.
Sounds good, guys. See you there.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much to everyone, the commentators, Ferran, Edgeworth, Cyberdark, Lord of the Synth. Not sure exactly what everyone did today. I wasn't looking around too much, but thank you all so much for the work that you put in. And I'm looking forward to an awesome final. I hope I can commentate the third place match if I'm available. That would be nice. And very much looking forward to Game 2 of BT versus Game Boy and Game 3 if necessary, both of which starting tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern on Randomania.
That is spot on. So yes, want to thank Lord of the Synth taking care of the restreaming, Cyberdark86 with the tracking, and Edgeworth co-commentating alongside myself, Ferran Burgundy. Edge, man, these things just get more and more fun as they go along here.
Yeah, no, definitely glad that I was able to do commentary for this series, and always fun to do commentary with you as well.
Yeah, it is a blast, and looking forward to the next one here. So we're going to take roughly 22.5-hour respite here, and we'll be back, as NESCardinality mentioned, tomorrow night. We'll be back 9 p.m. Eastern for the other semifinal, Game Boy F9 and BT's. Game Boy is up 1. Will BT's tie it up and send it to an immediate third race right afterward, or will Game Boy get the sweep for the Game Boy F9 defending the title against NESCardinality? We'll find that out in just under a day here on Randomania. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to give both of our runners a follow, MisterHomes and NESCardinality, if you haven't already. And also all our folks behind the scenes here, Lord of the Synth, CyberDark86, Edgeworth, and myself. And until tomorrow night, I'm Ferran Burgundy saying, may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. We're now going to send the raid on over to the victor, NESCardinality. Thank you for tuning in here on Randomania. Good night, everyone.